Could we finally be seeing the light? Yes, I am talking about cruises restarting from the US in July. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're returning, well, welcome back. Have you noticed something? The pressure on the CDC to restart cruising from the US has been relentless and unwavering for, well, at least about a month. And I think we're finally starting to see indicators that say that the CDC is moving in the right direction. Do I think that cruising might restart in July? I actually do. And I will tell you why, and I will share these tangible indicators with you in this video. Now, if you do find this information helpful or informative in any way, please do give the video a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel, and I really do appreciate it. So let's get started. Okay, so let's be frank. The relationship between the CDC and the cruise lines and the cruise industry has obviously been strained. There has been a lack of communication, it seems, based on everything that we've seen and heard. However, it does look like things are actually improving. Maybe it should have happened a long time ago, but at least better late than never, right? So it does seem like right now the CDC and the cruise lines are actually meeting. We have heard that they had a meeting just last week. It looks like they'll have more meetings where at least that dialogue is happening. Now, there's a couple of schools of thought on that, which we will talk about in this video. We have Royal Caribbean that has one thing to say about it, and we have Norwegian Cruise Line that has something else to say. However, they have met, and this is still something that is good. Now, Royal Caribbean's Richard Fain, what he had to say about this was that they had a chance to be able to present the CDC with the data of those 400,000 plus people that have sailed over the last several months safely. They are able to now present the CDC with all of the information and all of the data, all of the science. It's not conjecture anymore. It's not speculation anymore as to what will happen on cruise ships. They've actually been doing it. And he did indicate that they were able to share that. And he did say that the dialogue was constructive. So this is something good. Now, something else he had to say was that the CDC has said, and they've said it publicly, we've all heard it or read it, they've said that they would like to see cruise lines resuming by midsummer. And in some cases, we hear mid-July. He actually says that he could see that as a realistic possibility. Now, when I hear that from Richard Fain, I personally am hopeful. Let me know, please, what you think of that. Now, let's look at what Frank Del Rio, the CEO and president of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, though, had to say about these meetings. Now, what he did say is it was through a letter. He was very frank. He always is. And he really expressed his frustration at the fact that he had sent a letter on behalf of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings on April 5th, not only submitting a letter, but submitting a plan, a health and safety plan of how Norwegian Cruise Lines would resume safely from the United States. He even pointed out in that letter, like you could really tell the personal frustration that he has, as he explained that they even knew that they were taking away part of their key demographic, at least in those early sailings, by sailing with only fully vaccinated passengers, as they knew that people that were under 16, so that really took away families that sail, especially during the summer months with Norwegian Cruise Line, that they wouldn't be able to sail with Norwegian Cruise Line. But he said he did really just believe that this is the absolute safest way based on science. He says the safest way to restart from the US during this current, well, the health situation. So he said he was really frustrated at the fact that he hadn't even received an acknowledgement, a response at all from the CDC on this. And he acknowledged that, of course, Dr. Walensky and the CDC have other things that are very pressing. But he did point out that for the economy, how important the cruise industry is. And he really did ask again for a response to his letter and his plan. And he did have an opinion on those meetings. He pointed out that while he was happy to have the meeting, he was a little bit frustrated that the plan that Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings had presented to the CDC through that letter and through submitting that written plan, he said he was surprised that it was not addressed during that meeting. And it did seem like what he wanted from those meetings is, rather than just talk, he wanted tangible things to move forward. So we'll see what happens. And if the CDC responds to that letter, I doubt they'll do it publicly, but perhaps we'll hear more publicly from Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, I have to say, last week I was really feeling very frustrated because the cruise lines were all announcing how they were starting cruising outside of the US. And it just, well, as much as I'm so happy and excited for people that can sail from outside of the US, I really want cruises to start from the US. I know that the majority of people that live in the US and even in Canada are going to be sailing from the US. So I think it really is so important for people, for passengers, for crew, for the economy. So when we look at the fact that so many politicians, because I guess of this, and because it's really hitting the economy, so many politicians in the US are really putting pressure on the CDC and on the federal government to help cruise lines to start. So we do have the Cruise Act. Now that's a bill that, if it passes, would actually require the CDC to revoke or rescind that conditional sailing order by July 1st and allow cruise lines to sail and help them to sail safely, of course, mitigating the spread of this virus. It does still leave them with the authority to deal with any communicable diseases. So obviously, safety is still foremost, but in terms of this particular health situation, it does actually allow the cruise lines to move forward if this bill would actually pass. Now, I'll be completely honest, I am Canadian, so I don't know a lot about what are the chances that this bill will pass or not. So please let me know your thoughts, your guesses, your educated opinions, please, in the comments below. Now, we even heard from Florida Representative Maria Elvira Salazar, and she says she is very optimistic and she actually now sees the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, why? Well, it's because she says while she was in Washington, she decided to walk over to the CDC building, and she says she decided to knock on their door because she wanted cruising to restart and she wanted to have a conversation with them. Well, while she didn't speak to the CDC director, she did speak with the CDC deputy director, and she says that that conversation went very, very well. And she says that she received assurances that they are working towards getting cruising back this summer in the month of July. And she says she felt very optimistic and very positive about that conversation and about the assurances. So time will tell what is going to happen next, but I think all the indicators are showing that there is a little more movement in the right direction. Please let me know what you think. If you are feeling more hopeful now than you were perhaps a week or two ago, what direction is it going? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if you did like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'd love to have you here in the Lifewell Cruise community. Bye for now, and happy cruising.